And to make it even worse, the bosses are equal rehashes. See, they run this gimmick of the bosses being exactly the same as previous bosses in Sonic games, and they use the exact same strategy, but the thing is, hit them enough and they will then alter their strategy. But by then, they've only about 2 or 3 hits away from death anyway, so most of the time you just breeze through them without it barely harming you in any way. That's the main problem I have with this game and what kills it for me. Which is a shame because when it does get original and creative, it's actually really fun. Like, the third act of Lost Labyrinth Zone is a level where Sonic's carrying this flaming torch, and it's the only source of light he has in the area, so he has to run around in darkness, occasionally using it to light bigger torches so he can see more of what's in front of him, and then also use it to light up dynamite packs, and he has to be careful which ones he lights up. That's fun, that's creative, and it's something I haven't done in a previous Sonic game. But the rest is just a rehash, and it's just so freaking sad. It's like they were just going for the nostalgia element, but not bothering to add anything new. Oh, and since we're speaking of disappointments, remember when they said it was episodic because it was basically one big story that would take about 4 or so games to complete? Yeah, that's a total lie. There's no story whatsoever. Yeah, there is literally no story. There are 2 cutscenes. One is the ending, which is honestly not worth it. The second is a very generic cutscene of Eggman flying into space and Sonic chasing after him. And it wasn't originally supposed to be in the console versions. It was added when fans said they didn't understand how he got into space. Yeah. I know some people are going to be telling me right now, oh, Sonic doesn't need a story, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm going to be nice and skip part an entire rant about how it's close-minded people like you that prevent video game narrative from evolving, or indeed video games in general from evolving. And I'll just simply say, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is an example of how a story can work in a Sonic game without having atrocious dialogue, well, partially because there is no dialogue, and also without breaking the flow of the game. It's really not that hard, and it just exposes the entire episode's subtitle as a complete and utter lie. That's all I can...
Yeah, literally, they lied. There's no story whenever that was their main selling point.
Yeah, apparently then now, I should have noticed something when they changed tactics, saying the reason why it's in episodes is that we can adjust the next one to fan feedback. Yay, really? Okay, well I have several things to fix. The physics, the originality.
The lack of a story.
Yep, that too. Even the ultra secret teaser, which you can only get by collecting the Chaos Emerald, is not really worth it because it's a stock animation by Sonic and Eggman followed by reverse this dialogue if you want to reveal the spoiler. Great, I can't wait for his rehashed boss fight, woohoo! Yeah, I know all of this is making it sound like it's a bad game. It's not. It's just average and mediocre, that's all I can say, because it does do some things right. I mean, it does introduce the homing attack, and speaking to someone who liked the homing attack in Sonic Adventure 2, it works really well. It's the first time it's worked well on the 2D plane, so that's one thing they did right. And you get to play as Super Sonic outside of the final boss battle again, which is always fun. Although, interestingly enough, that's the one time where the physics fix themselves and
Wow.
Yeah, Super Sonic, he even defies bad physics.
That's just hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, it's average. If you want a bit of cheap nostalgia, well, it's not really cheap since the price tag's so high, but yeah, if you want a bit of nostalgia, you can buy this game, but you know what? You can buy Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles on the Virtual Console for 500 points each, which is a lot cheaper overall. And if you press the minus button, you can link the 2 games together, and you'll get a much more value for money that way, trust me.
Yeah, and then we can talk about those games, maybe, because then I won't have a permanent handprint on my face.
Neither me or Sven watched movies this month, so we'll now be moving on to our final section rather quickly.
Manga!
And yeah, it's usually our duty to cover the big two, so...
You may remember that last month Conan was about to square off with a Daru Uchiha. Guess who won? That's right, it was a Daru Uchiha, pulling yet another power-up out of his arse for being that he can apparently turn illusions into reality, and apparently it's the real power of the Sharingan or some crap like that. He then takes the rain gun and then gets a new stupid mask to go with it. It's around that time that Kabuto, a bit of bum back when Naruto was good, comes around and decides to join Madara Uchiha, and then Madara reveals to him that he has 100,000 clones sitting underneath, one of which includes a clay clone of Deborah, who has just come back from the grave, and they are now converging on the island that Naruto is based on, and meanwhile the Earth can't get...
God, why do I bother?
You okay?
This plot it's a spiral of convoluted crap. It just never ends. It never ends. Just when I think we're getting to the end, just when the end is in sight because the Akatsuki members are dead, they keep coming back.
Wow. I'm just making sure you're not going to detonate anytime soon, right?
No, I'm fine. It's just... I think this series is beyond help now. It's just... Not only is the fight's not fun anymore, because you know it all comes down to one character pulling a power-up out of their arse, and you also know that there's going to be some sympathy bullcrap that makes us try to sympathize with an irritating villain at the end. But now we don't even know the villain's going to die, because, like I said, Deborah has just come back from nowhere with little to no foreshadowing other than, oh, it's a clay clone. Yeah. I'd like to see when he made that during the whole committing suicide thing.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And then to top it all off, Kabuto, who has Orochimaru's powers, suddenly revealed that he's brought one of Orochimaru's former summons back to life with some bullcrap about genetics. Don't ask me, just...
Good lord, it's sad whenever the only way you can help a series is by completely and utterly detonating the canon and writing your own story, basically.
It's the only way to enjoy this series now. If it wasn't for this masochistic tendency I have to just follow a story through in the vain hope that something good will happen again, I really am considering giving up now. Very few things have made me considering actually just giving up the series then and there, but the fact that people are gonna come back, that even when they die, it's not permanent, that is what's driving me insane right now.
Well, it had to happen sometime, in my opinion, because it just keeps getting worse somehow. Eventually, It's going to drive everyone away. Yeah, it's really sad too, because it actually was good in the early days. It was good, I swear. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I first started watching and reading whenever it was in the early days, whenever it was still good. But those days are gone. Believe me, they're gone.
And what's worse, it's one of those things where I can't even enjoy taking the piss out of it anymore. I'm sick and tired of talking about it. It has been almost a year since we started doing this monkey broadcast. A year since we started talking about manga. And I swear, last month was probably the only time I've actually said something positive about the last few chapters. It's just... it's even now that I've started hunting down the new manga series to read that I constantly updating. I started reading Fairy Tail and One Piece, and whilst I'm not 100% sure what exactly is going on in each arc, or in the case of Fairy Tail, who's each and every one of the characters, but it is a lot more enjoyable by comparison.
Well, I've still pretty much given up on all of the big three because they've gone on too long.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
That's probably fair enough. I think I may just eventually move on to Fairy Tail, or at the very least start talking about that once I know more of the series, because in all honesty, I'm getting sick of ranting about Naruto. Ugh.
Well, you're not the only one, because I still pay attention to Bleach like a masochist, although that might not last long.
Yet, speaking of which, Sven, what has been happening in Bleach as of late?
2 chapters, and they can be summed up in 2 words.
It's over, it's over, it's over. It's over.
Yep. I'm not even close to kidding. I would not joke about this. It's finally freaking over. Aizen is through.
Huzzah! Where's victory music when you need it?
Insert Final Fantasy victory theme here.
Yeah.
That's basically the only thing that's happened this week, however, because Bleach has suddenly up and taken a 3-week hiatus. So I have nothing else to talk about, but hey, I'm celebrating the fact that that final grind fest battle's finally over.
I think that's probably why he's taken the 3-week hiatus. He's suddenly gone, okay, the battle's over. What do I do now? I have to start a new arc. Come up with a new villain. Oh god!
It's probably strange to Kubo after having Aizen the main villain for so long, but I'm starting to wonder how long his disappearance is going to last, because he's still alive. Although he's been sealed away in the deepest pits of hell, which satisfies me.
Oh yes, he definitely deserves it.
What scares me is that he looked kind of smug for someone who's going to hell.
Oh, he's always smug. With the exception of that one time when he started to crack, he's always smug. It's like a default setting for him.
That is true, but yeah, literally nothing else has happened except, oh, Ichigo's losing all his powers and is about to stop seeing Soul Reapers. Let's see how long that lasts, huh?
Yeah, that... I would agree, yeah. Practically all of us are thinking, okay, how long is it till he gets his Sugigami powers? Because obviously that's not going to be permanent.
Because, frankly, I have to take Bleach's side here. You have to have the main character be able to see the main plot points in the entire series.
That is true. Although, actually, I will admit one thing, this may just be because of my jaded experience of the latest Naruto, but the final chapter where Rukia starts to disappear and they say goodbye, thank you for everything, that was a moment was really well done, I've got to say. That was, although it was sad, and obviously we knew it wasn't going to be permanent, it was kind of satisfying in a way, I will say.
Yeah, well, the ending is looking very ending-ish, but let's face it, Kubo's got 2 more arcs.
Yeah. I guess it would be the perfect way to end the series, but it's not, so I guess we can expect more. We can only hope that the next story arc isn't just continuous fighting. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like fighting, just not in great doses. It's like sugar in that sense.
Yeah. And let's hope Kubo learns a lesson that I've always wanted him to learn. Man, whenever you make villains, you have to realize you can't just kill them all off and expect us to take all the heroes living with a grain of salt. Really?
That is true. Also, one other lesson, actually Ishimoto could probably learn from this as well. Don't try and justify a villain's existence after they die, because it didn't work for Baringan, it didn't work for Yanami, it didn't work for countless other Aranka, and it certainly doesn't work for Aizen of all people.
Yeah, I was... Oh, you won't believe how happy I was that he didn't give some flashback crap for Aizen, because, frankly, there is no helping Aizen.
Yeah, I think the closest we got was just like one panel I quickly skipped over when Ichigo's looking a bit depressed, thinking it was probably the only time he was on equal footing with another being. It's like, bullcrap, he's a murdering jackass, moving on.
Yeah, I can name maybe 2 instances in which the flashbacks worked, but every other time, no, just no.
Yeah. And I think that's all of our feelings on Bleach, and actually that brings the manga section to a nice close.
Yeah, ending on a slightly actually decent note with Bleach. Go
Hooray!
figure.
That's the end of this month's Monkey broadcast. If you have any feelings you'd like to sit there with us regarding any of the games or subjects we've discussed, then please leave something in the comment section. Until next time then, that was me, the Johnny Monkey.
And me, Sven the Crusader, and we hope to see you again.
That was Monkey Broadcast, a monthly review and discussion show hosted by the Jonin Monkey and Sven the Crusader. If you feel that you've been the subject of slander or that your copyright has been misused, please PM me and I'll try and get round to fixing it as soon as possible. We also welcome any comments, be it feedback or your own viewpoints on any of the things we've discussed. Until next month, have fun kids!